Welcome to Prodigy Sportive Attestations. P.S.A. podcast is an unconventional podcast that challenges the audience to think outside the box using real-life experiences, clever narratives, original quotes, and the creative use of satire in order to break the audience free from negative paradigms and push them towards their own personal growth. This is by no means a method to condemn or bash the audience, but instead encourage and showcase a different perspective that might not have been seen before. P.S.A. is designed to showcase to the listeners that the power of the mind is not a joke, and if a person can learn to control their mind and their thoughts, they will ultimately control their life. This podcast serves as a means of entertainment and educational purposes only, and not a replacement for therapy or any other type of professional help that the audience may desire. What is going on? What is going down? It is Thanksgiving. All right. Happy Turkey Day to everybody. I remember some seasons ago, Thanksgiving would be my ending part. But not this time, because after today, I have 2 episodes left. All right. So I wanted to do one about one of my favorite words and something that I actually contemplated doing an episode over, I think as early as season 2. And now I'm like, you know what? Got the shirts. You've seen them showcased on the podcast before. But the reason for me now really even revamping it and bringing more awareness to the word, breaking that down, and also to the shirts is because guess what, y'all? You've seen it. We got some more colors. Okay? We got some more colors. And I keep saying it on my Instagram and everywhere and to anybody who will listen. But I will, if you are in the Houston area, I am and will be at a pop-up shop November 28th. Address and everything is listed on the flyer. If you are in Houston, Texas, so if you want to come pull up to that, I'm there from 1 to 5 selling belligerent teas. Okay. And also you can take a picture with me for free. But all right, enough promo for right now because I'll be back. Today's episode is titled The Belligerent Lifestyle and Why You Need to Join the Movement. The meme reads, being belligerent isn't just a movement, it's a lifestyle. It's a like, not like Issa Rae, but it's a like 21 Savage when he was like, it's a knife. All right. Obviously, inspiration comes from my catchphrase word, that originally started from me being drunk all the time back in the day. And I would always get on Twitter, Instagram saying, and everyone would know, oh, he's on their level when he put belligerent. To the point where everybody started saying it. But what most people don't realize is belligerent actually has a bigger meaning in other ways too. So we're going to break that down today. Obviously, inspiration comes from my t-shirts. Got on the Nipsey Blue. No, I'm just playing. It ain't the Nipsey Blue. Somebody did say, is that Nipsey Blue? I'm like, nah, but I mean, it is his blue though. Getting y'all obviously ready for this pop-up shop November 28th. Gonna keep saying that. And a quote that I like from Carl Payne. It says, demons understand this, even if they try to play dumb or become belligerent when challenged. Okay. Now you're probably thinking, what does that mean? We're going to get into that a little later. All right. But let's get into today's story time. All right. Today's story is called Belligerent Benny. Okay. So Belligerent Benny, well, just Benny, was a part of a gaming organization. Okay. Him and his 3 friends all decided that they wanted to create their own video game. They were deemed the nerds, but guess what? They were some creatives like nobody had ever seen. When in the process of presenting and creating the game, all of the friends will always agree on one thing, but Benny was know for a fact that this part of the game would work. He had an idea, and actually he had several ideas that he knew would work and knew would go through, and he knew would take their video game to a whole new level and give them the spotlight in the eyes that they wanted. He felt it was a reason why the other 3's ideas and the way they went about it never worked. So Benny consistently remained belligerent and aggressive with getting his point across. So much so that finally the friends cracked and just said, okay, let's use his idea. Literally, not even a week after using his idea and incorporating some of his strategies, someone at a big gaming organization from across the country reached out to them and with the intent of meeting with them to take their game to the next level. All right, so guess what, y'all? That was the first time ever I just made up a story on the spot. But seriously, I just made it up on the spot because, I forgot to write my story out. But it don't matter because guess what? It still fall in line with my themes for today's episode. So the lessons and themes from the story, there are good ways to be belligerent. It's not always, laid out in the middle of the floor drunk doing snow angels and ain't no snow. Okay? You can be aggressive with things that matter to you. And in this case, Benny was aggressive with what he felt and what he knew was going to work. And it got them the looks that they wanted. He stood up for what was right. And it also showed that you shouldn't always remain silent. And I think that a lot of times, most people think that if I just be quiet, it's whatever. But that's not always healthy. It's not always healthy. All right, so I went ahead and defined belligerent. It says, and not my definition, but this definition, but we'll get into mine in a minute. It says, an adjective, belligerent is engaged in war, warring, engaged in warfare, eager to war, or warlike, or pertaining to war. By extension, it means aggressively hostile, eager to fight, violent towards others. So it originally meant warlike, right? You think of war ready, war veteran, that kind of thing. So this can be both a good and bad thing. But let's go into my other favorite segment first. QT&A, questions that need addressing. All right. So there are negative sides of being hostile and aggressive and 7 disadvantages of aggressiveness that come from queenbeing.com. All right. But before we get into those, let's ask a few questions. So first of all, the first question is there a good way to be belligerent? Absolutely. I stated that. And, there's a good way to, if somebody is encouraging you to rob a bank or to do something you shouldn't be doing, you can be aggressive with your no. Okay. And that's with anything. If somebody's trying to peer pressure you and encourage you to do something, just will put you in a position that'll set you back, encourage you, or, you can aggressively say no. Someone is just badgering you about your social security number for your PPP or any other loan. You can say no aggressively, like, no, bro, I'm not giving you my information. Cause them niggas is like some hawks, Now, they didn't calm down now. I don't know if someone went to jail or not. But it was at one point, it was just like, bro, come on. Like, y'all was just some animals. Another question that needs addressing. Who told me to do these shirts? Well, first of all, I had several friends kind of suggested. And I had kind of thought about it. But what made me quick to do it was because I said, first of all, I'm not going to get a shirt. Because as we're seeing, belligerent has multiple meanings. I personally, just where I'm going and where I'm in life, I'm not getting a shirt that represents being drunk. This shirt is multi-purpose. If you want to wear it to represent you being drunk, go ahead. But that's not the purpose of this shirt. Okay, as we know, the English dictionary had many words had different meanings. And I like my version of it. But, there's that. The next question, what does this have to do with mental health? So, obviously, when it comes to being belligerent, okay, here's the thing. If you're aggressive, if you're not aggressive enough, it can be damaging. And if you're too aggressive, it can be damaging as well, depending on the situation. If you're not aggressive enough in whatever it is you want in life, but then at the same time, if you're too aggressive, you can talk yourself out of something, it can make it even worse. It's a slippery slope, but it definitely can be challenging or, you can be hurtful. Like if you do want something and you don't get it. Not if you do want something, you don't get it. But if you do want something and you should be going for it and you don't do it, or you pressure something too hard and you put too much pressure and the pipe bursts. All right. We want to apply pressure, but you can't apply too much pressure. Now, back to the negative sides of being hostile and aggressive and the 7 disadvantages. So, and this comes from queenbeing.com. As stated earlier, it says you show little respect for others and receive little respect in return. All right. It says your relationships suffer. It says your self-esteem suffers. It says deep down, Aggressive people believe that they can't be successful any other way. The only way they believe they can compete is to steamroll the competition. So that's the third one, and that's for the people who just feel like they want to bogart and punch people down and that kind of thing. Like, you gonna give me my way or else, because they feel like if they ask for it nicely, it's not gonna work. And personally, I've been in a situation like that before, where it's like I be trying to say it this way, but like that ain't working. So now I have to be aggressive and hostile because this not working. Prime example: you go to Starbucks and as you're trying to get your pumpkin spice latte because that's what you like to drink. You're in the line and you're there for 30 minutes, and all the other people are getting their drinks, much faster than you, and they just pulled up, and one of them literally got the exact same thing. So now you have to get semi-belligerent, because if you get too belligerent, you're proving a narrative. Or not proving a narrative, but you're making it seem that a certain demographic acts a certain way all the time. But if you just kind of semi-aggressive and more so belligerent with your words, get what you want. Now all of a sudden, it's like the pumpkin latte. They snapped their fingers and it just popped out of thin air. Why I had to get belligerent with y'all like that? Well, not me. But why did this character have to get belligerent with y'all like that? Why did you make them do that? Now they getting Starbucks for years for free. Well, not for years, but it's going to feel like it because the character doesn't go there as much. The fourth one says aggressiveness hurts your progress in the long term. So I agree with that wholeheartedly, because you pushing people away. You don't want to be that person at your job where it's like, oh, don't say nothing to someone, so they always got attitude. You don't want to be that person. The fifth one says you'll be alone. Aggressive people struggle to create and maintain meaningful and personal professional relationships. There aren't too many people that spend time with aggressive people by choice. Yeah, you get tired of that after a while, so keep that in mind. The sixth one says you fail to develop other skills. I can definitely see that. They got some good points, because it's like if you feel like you belligerent and you're going to keep being aggressive and hostile in this negative manner, then you're not going to develop nowhere else, because you're going to feel like this is the only way that works. And it says the seventh one, others will attempt to derail your efforts. So if others will attempt to derail your efforts, that means they're going to always try to sabotage you. And here's the thing, too. If they smart, don't be that person that is always that way, because it's kind of like the little boy that cried wolf. It's like, okay, if you always angry, you always nasty and vicious, and, the competition can play off that, because then they could do some sneak stuff that's going to make you mad, and then they can point the finger like, see, so-and-so doing it again. So now you like, dang, now I can't, now they got you. Let's move on. So, how did belligerent equate to drunk? So this comes from an excerpt from another podcast called Way with Words. It says, some people, particularly younger folks, are adamant that the term belligerent means drunk. It is a misanalysis of the word and perhaps associating being intoxicated with being ready to fight. Instead, belligerent derives from the Latin word bellum, meaning war, also found in bellicose, and the term applied to that period before war, particularly in the U.S. war, antebellum. So isn't that interesting? So the whole drunk thing is funny, because it's like, I guess you fighting your demons, or you fighting something when you drunk. You fighting them, their drunkenness, especially if you stumbling and stuff. You probably, wonder, like, where did they come from? Because that literally shows you right there that somebody just put something together. And that sound like some old T.I. nigga trying to be smart, using words, forcing words in a sentence that really didn't need to be there. Talking about something, and then saying you being real belligerent, and now it then became the poster child for a drunk person. Because if you didn't fell out in the middle of the floor, laid up drunk, are you belligerent? By this generation's definition, yes. But in reality, no, because if you're not aggressive and hostile, or just aggressive in general, are you belligerent? Now, I'm not gonna lie. Back in the day, when I was drunk on all the time, like all the time, it definitely was sometimes I was being real belligerent when I was drunk. And I don't even know how I started saying a word, but it just kind of fell into my lap in a sense. But have you ever been drunk and belligerent to the point where you know, aggressive and ready to fight? Or sometimes you be aggressively ready to go home, get in your bed, go to sleep. So that's something to think about too. So this is a concept analysis, and this is Aggression by Dr. Lin. It says, of or pertaining to war, generally speaking, aggression is considered to have a negative function that only affects disapproval from others, but also is evaluated as destructive and damaging in its consequences. It says, however, Bluestein argues that the term aggressive behavior is ambiguous, all right, denoting both positive and negative behaviors. Similarly, it can be called excessive or inappropriate aggression. Ellis considered positive aggression to be healthy, productive behavior if promoted the basic values of survival, protection, happiness, social acceptance, preservation, and intimate relations. So I like that because right here it's showing you that there's a positive way to be aggressive. So in this case, again, if you're trying to survive, you know what I'm saying? If you, I think of somebody being stuck on an island and you get attacked by a saber-toothed tiger, and all you got is a spear, you just gonna let the saber-tooth tiger tear you down? No. You finna try to put the spear on it some way and get it off you. Now, you probably say, why saber-tooth tiger? That's literally the only animal that just popped in my head. They've been extinct for a long time. It just came to my head. If you aggressively ignore the opinions of others, that's something that's hard to do. But it's needed if you want to be successful in whatever it is you're trying to do. Because if you don't, you're gonna succumb victim to people's not liking the way you dress, or not liking the way you talk, or not liking the way you think about things, or just not liking you in general, not liking who you date, not liking, you know, that your TV is on tables and you don't have a TV stand, you know, whatever. People gonna find something. But that's when you have to be so comfortable in who you are that it doesn't matter. And that's a process, but you have to aggressively resist those type of thoughts. Okay? Then when it talks about, you know, I like that it said that aggression can be ambiguous. So it can it can be one or the other, you know. And I really like that because if you in a debate, right, like a literal debate, whether you on a debate team or a lawyer, and you saving somebody, well, in a debate team, you know, you're just trying to win. But if you're a lawyer and you're representing somebody who you know is not guilty, you have to be aggressive in that courtroom to save them, because the prosecutors and them, they going to come in with a vengeance. They will come in steamrolling, trying to take your head off. So you have to aggressively say why your client isn't wrong, or what, you know what I'm saying? You have to look at it like that and keep that in mind when it comes to positive and negative aggression. In the context of positive aggression, a certain amount of aggression is thought to be necessary and adaptive throughout childhood and adolescence because it helps build autonomy and identity. Furthermore, a certain degree of aggression or dominance helps to facilitate engagement in cooperative and competitive activities with one's peers. Channeled in the proper direction, human aggression is the force that enables a person to be healthfully self-assertive, dominant, and independent, and to achieve mastery of both the environment and self. Therefore, according to Jack in 1999, believes that positive aggression takes many forms, okay, including standing up for self, self-protection, standing up in the face of negotiation, pushing for new possibilities, and defending against harm. Okay? So, again, it's kind of backdoing what we just said. If you're protecting yourself, you have to be aggressive in some cases. Now, it can be a slippery slope, because sometimes if, like, people out here trying to tear you down, you can't necessarily defend yourself in every case, but you can aggressively resist the thoughts and the what's the word I'm looking for? You can aggressively resist the desire or the temptation, there we go, to fight back and say, no, y'all, this is like this, because you so confident who you are, and you say, I'm not even finna feed into that. You aggressively resist even engaging with them people, because it's not, it's not gonna change nothing. When people have a certain view on you and they want to keep that view, they're not changing it. So you might as well just let them have that. But I want to break down warlike, all right? So with warlike, actual war and Veterans Day was a few weeks ago, and we celebrate that every year. I think of rival gangs, you know what I mean? Like, obviously the ancient blood, and Crips. That's funny. But that's an ancient rivalry we've known about since not the beginning of time. But, obviously God versus Satan, even though it's not really a versus because Satan ain't going to win. But you get what I mean. We'll just say good and evil just to make it simpler in terms like that. You fighting the urge to stay in bed when that alarm clock go off in the morning. That's my favorite one. I lose that one almost every morning. Yeah, one time I literally woke up at 5. I said, I'm going to get up, get myself together, get up a little early. I said, I closed my eyes for 2 seconds. I woke up, it was 7:19. How? I was so confused. When you sleep too long, you jump like, wow. Like you jump like, and then it's like your mind is scatterbrained. So you looking for clothes in your kitchen, and you go into the bathroom in your room closet. You don't know what's going. You just all over the place, and then it's like you try to put something on, and you just don't know if this look. You just like, I don't know what to do. That's what be happening. I also again think of spiritual warring too, as far as fighting off your demons. First of all, let's talk about this. I'm tired. We talk about people fighting their demons a lot, but listen, at some point you gotta win. You can't keep fighting the same ones for years. And some people have made a comment about I befriend mine. You a lie. I ain't befriending them. And you letting demons run amok and roaches and mice run amok in your house. You not coming in here if you ain't paying no bills. You don't pay to live here. So the fact that y'all be letting wild, evil spirits and animals in your house who don't pay to live there is wild to me. Because I would never. Now, let's break down the belligerent shirt meaning. So you see it's on me. You've seen on me several pictures. You saw me, do my updated. You saw me do the original promo for the shirts, and now then doing the promo for the newer ones. The definition: when one aggressively resists thoughts, comments, and characteristics that don't align with one's goals or beliefs. So again, aggressively resist. So it means when these thoughts, the comments, and even personal characteristics of your own, or ones you observe in other people, you say, I'm not gonna engage with that. I'm not going to entertain that thought, because when the thoughts come, sometimes thoughts will come, but you do not have to entertain all of them. It's a technique I remember learning in therapy. It was like, because especially with people that deal with anxiety, which I used to struggle with and was diagnosed with in 2016. I don't really struggle with it anymore. I have anxious moments from time to time, but not like that. But a technique I remember learning was to pay attention to what you're thinking about and regain control of your thoughts by like looking at little stuff in the room and just focusing in on that. So like, say for instance, this light. I look at the light, then I may look at the stand of the light. Then I may look at this trophy that tells me how great I am. Then I may look at, the pen, and I may focus on the mic. Just in that way you'll notice, and it does work, but you have to be aggressive with doing it. Because then you'll notice like your mind will change. And again, that's something I've known from experience that was told to me by a licensed professional that I tried, and it works. So keep that in the back of your mind. But, I like this shirt because, again, if you may say that you aggressively resisting thoughts telling you not to get drunk. Well, hey, that's on you. So now you saying I'm not gonna listen to a voice to tell me not to get drunk, and I'm gonna go get drunk. I'm not encouraging people to get drunk, but at the end of the day, you think of belligerent, people are gonna think of drunk. So if that's what you want to look at it as, that's fine. But I look at belligerent as well as when you are fighting for what you believe in, standing up for what you know is right. You not taking no for an answer when it comes to following your dreams. I remember watching a video about Yvonne from Insecure, the lady that plays Molly, and she was talking about she did a not a stand up, but a Forbes talk. She was on stage talking for Forbes, and she had literally just told a fan no to a picture, but then she was doing a seminar or whatever about not taking no for an answer. So of course the world tried to tell her she contradicted herself, but Charlemagne was like, well, not really, because saying not taking no for an answer really is for when it comes to your dreams and stuff, not with taking a picture with a fan when you about to go on stage. So look at it like that. Now, something else that got y'all panties in a bunch was the TikTok, the other one I dropped for this week about, well, no, not this week. It was like 2 weeks ago. And no, it was this week too. It was 2 weeks ago on my regular page, and then this week on the P.S.A. page. But the video about me being an educator, and it was like how I watch y'all belligerent children fight in the classroom because I don't get paid enough to break this up. So let's break that down. First of all, every teacher that seen it laughed, whether they knew me or not. But it was some trolls basically saying I'm encouraging people to fight or encouraging kids to fight. Let me say this. I'm not even the main person. I'm not even an advocate for people to be like, oh, do you have a degree in this or have you experienced this? I am, but to an extent. This is the extent where I feel like if you ain't been there, shut up. Because first of all, if you've never been in the classroom before, never been a teacher, never even worked at a school, be quiet. Because my thing is, if I see two kindergartners fighting, I'm not going to let them fight them little kids. But fifth and up, I'm not going to necessarily say I'm just going to watch it, but I'm definitely going like call somebody, because you grab a kid a certain way. The kid goes home, and teachers, they know what I'm talking about when I say this. Educators in general. You grab him a certain way, her a certain way, then they're going to go home and say, the teacher grabbed me. The kid is always right. Now you fired. Y'all ain't looking at it like that. I know y'all not. Y'all just looking at it like, oh, this man just allowing kids to fight in his classroom. And if it's some high schoolers or some eighth graders, some big eighth graders fighting, I wish I would see you break it up. Because then them older kids know what they doing. If y'all already had little issues, they may try to hit you on purpose and be like, oh, I didn't see you, or it was by accident, and they knew what they was doing. So we're going to move on from that. That's my rebuttal to those statements. Okay? Now, here's some scenarios of people who are belligerent. Spoiler alert, love from you is belligerent. Now, Joe's belligerent too, but I think she's way more belligerent because she was cutting people's heads off because they looked at her husband and all this stuff. Then, spoiler alert, she tries to kill him, but in season 3, she dies. Sorry. Should have watched it by now. I watched it the other day and I was late. She dies. Okay? I think that when any parent is belligerent when they try to bring their kids clothes and try to dress their kids after a certain age, you are out of your mind. And every child that gets belligerent in rebuttal, you deserve that, because you having them out here looking like a fool when they're getting talked about. Listen, a few weeks ago, Offset and his gang was fighting at Complexicon. It was a brawl. They was knucking and bucking and ready to fight. Not ready, they was fighting, throwing fists and fighting with their elbows. They was fighting like this. Like how Chief Keef was fighting in that video some years ago. Will Smith needs to be belligerent with Jada because she wildin'. But are you really surprised? And y'all idolize that marriage. And this is the point that I'm saying again. y'all need to stop idolizing celebrity marriages and really other people's marriages in general, because you really don't know what them people be doing. You don't know what goes on in their household. You know what I'm saying? Now, I mean, sometimes there do be situations where people be getting slammed across the house, and men be getting beat up by their wives sometimes too. You know, because especially if you got a woman who gets belligerent and she starts swinging on her husband or boyfriend, and you're taught men can't hit women, so he just sitting there taking it. You know, so that you got to keep that in mind too. But definitely, and when I say belligerent, I don't mean he should go like beat her up. I'm saying he should aggressively resist. He should aggressively resist. Basically, he need to leave it alone. He need to flee the scene. I'm just put it like that, y'all. He need to flee the scene. But yeah, tips and scenarios for my college students. Now, I want to let y'all know something. This episode and the last episodes of this season will actually finally be retiring this segment, okay? This segment will be completely gone. I've told y'all, kind of hinted at it, but I'm really doing even more. Season 6 will be something you've never seen before, P.S.A. It'll be on a whole new level, but this segment will be retired. I'm thinking to get rid of this segment and add 2 new ones. And one to replace this one, and then just one just to have. It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be good. So just be prepared for that. But tips scenarios for my college students. You may want to fight people in college being drunk and belligerent, even if you ain't drunk. And you're probably gonna get drunk in college. If you didn't get drunk in college, kudos to you, but I did. And I know a lot of people did. It's okay. That's what people do in college. And plus, you have some memories too. Hopefully more good than bad. I remember one scenario, I think it was my freshman year of college. And we was at a kickback and the police came. And they all crammed us into the different rooms of the apartment trying to hide. It was like 20 people in each room hiding. And we all trying to be quiet, and everybody's constantly saying, shh, shh. And it's making it 10 times worse. Stupid. Of course, police came and made everybody go home, and the people whose kickback it was got in trouble. But you know me, I have a knack for fleeing the scene before stuff pop off. So it was like as soon as the door opened, I just knew to leave. And that's what I did. I went home. But on the flip side, college students, fight for what you believe in. Stand up for what you know is not right. Go, you feel like your thoughts out of whack. Go talk to somebody on campus. And keep in mind that college is only for a short period of time. Take advantage of every moment that you can. All right. Okay, so let's move on to my question and challenge for the week. So, what is one way in which you have been belligerent? All right, remember, we got positive aggression, we got negative aggression. So, keep those in mind. All right, y'all, it is Thanksgiving. So, I want y'all to enjoy y'all's Turkey Day. Watch this with your family before the game come on, or even after. I know y'all gonna be belligerent at them Black Friday deals and them Black Friday at the Walmart, at the Target, at the malls. Maybe you can go be belligerent at the gym too, because you ate all that food and you already knew your blood pressure was high. So maybe you need to go be belligerent at the gym and go run and lift some of it off. Not all of it. I'm actually gonna go today. But, that's just me. But be safe on this holiday. And also, as we get into, the holiday season, I wanted to end off this season with a 2-part series. I'm ending off with a series. And it is the Health and Wealth series, all right? One episode is going to feature a nutritionist, and the other is going to feature a lifestyle, personal fitness, and personal trainer. And he's killing the game. I went to school with him, actually, based out of Dallas. So that's going to be a real good episode. just some tips because I feel like our community, needs this. And honestly, y'all, your mental health and what you eat has a lot. What you eat has a lot to do with your mental health. Believe it or not. So be prepared for that and enjoy your holiday, your belligerent holiday. Watching your belligerent uncle laugh at him or belligerent auntie. Or simultaneously they may be belligerent together, and it may be a good show. So enjoy that. But I'm going to go get me some turkey and got like 3-4 houses to go to today. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank y'all for all that y'all do. Tune in for part 1 of the Health is Wealth series next week. P.S.A. signing out. Always remember, keep your head up like your neck hurt. Remember who you are and make your mind up. Don't let it make you.